Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto conjunct one's natal Black Moon Lilith. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve Pluto, they can be about transformation, power, obsession, control, fixation. And when you're talking about transit Pluto conjoining one's natal Black Moon Lilith, well, it may manifest in the transformation and power, gaining power over, control over, obsession, and fixation. It could be very well with the negative manifestation of the placement. The placement of the Black Moon will often will be expressing negative, very negative qualities of the sign that it is in. I mean, say if it was in Leo, it could be trying to gain maybe more control over it could be very domineering or overbearing or arrogant type of nature that you might not necessarily want unveiled to people because the Black Moon is also connected that side that we don't want to come out and be exposed. It's also could be about gaining control, over what puts you in a strong state of fright or trepidation. And if this is an Aquarius, say it could be maybe the expression of innovation or ingenuity or your own uniqueness, or maybe being selfless or altruistic. Um, it can be something too when you look at the Black Moon rules could also be associated where at least we feel we are inept, where there is ineptitude, and sometimes it could actually be that way where we might be inept in that area. We might simply feel that way, but in a lot of instances, it can be that area where we feel there's some kind of void, or we feel inept. So it can be, I mean, going back to zodiac sign Leo, it can be one where you don't, where there might be some, situation where maybe you have trouble, feel there's some trouble expressing, the strong extroverted or gregarious qualities of Leo, or say if it's in Capricorn, it could be gaining some kind of structure or discipline. Say if it was in your fourth house, it could be maybe there's some, you feel you're very inept in terms of gaining some kind of structure or discipline or even consistency in your home, in your family life. Now, the Black Moon Lilith could also be connected with a formidable adversary or a person that plays a provocative or prominent role in your life scheme. It can be about, Pluto is about death and obliteration. It can be a figurative death of one of these people. Maybe one of these people leave your life if it's a powerful enemy, and say it's somebody that's just, tired of fighting with you, and they just, they take off and move away, and you're seen as insignificant to them. That could actually be a good thing. But if it's somebody that's actually been beneficial to you, of course, and figured prominently in your life scheme, that basically where the connection ends for whatever reason, whether it can be a literal death or the situation dissipates and this person just moves on for whatever reason, then of course that's something that's not very good. That is those are some ways that can manifest and pan out, though. Also, too, and keep in mind, the Black Moon will can be connected with death as well as Pluto. So it's a time too where the issues regarding death could be very intensified, to say the absolute least, and it might be a time where you might be feeling very morbid or morose. It could be over a death of somebody that was close to you. Say if it was in the eighth house, it could be somebody that you were involved in an intimate relationship with, or it could have been a business partnership, a shared resources scenario where you were very close with him or her. Fifth house could be a child or a lover. So it's something to really, to really be, keep an eye on during this time as far as this transit goes. And keep in mind that a lot of you will not even experience this transit. This transit can be very significant because in many instances, it won't even happen in the course of one's lifetime, because it takes Pluto much more than a lifetime to traverse all 12 zodiac signs. And of course the average person's only going to live, at least I know, as far as the Americans, United States, is like 77 or 78 years old or something like that. And Pluto's cycle through all 12 zodiac signs, of course, is a lot longer than that. This could also be, remember, Pluto can be connected with sexual and physical abuse. So in some cases, this could be very, destructive kind of abuse. It might be something where it may be connected with bullying or some kind of coercion or intimidation, somebody trying to gain some kind of power over you, or it's somebody that's trying to express their power by doing such in some cases. Um, this is also a time to the Black Moon Lilith can be connected with trauma as well. So I mean, this is a time to be careful involving something that might cause, could be, very strong, repercussions, or something that might be, might be perilous or near perilous. I mean, if it, as far as like driving at this time, be very careful, because Pluto, of course, is very destructive energy, to say the absolute least, and Black Moon Lilith can be associated with trauma. Uh, Black Moon Lilith again could be something connected with what we suppress and we don't want unveiled. So it can be something where where Pluto can be about manipulation. So in some cases, it can be that somebody, you might be going through maybe a situation with somebody where somebody is being manipulative and trying, say, might be black. It could be more susceptibility to some kind of blackmail. Somebody saying, well, I'm going to divulge this about you if you don't do such and such. So it's important, at this time to be very prudent about, I mean, if there's, something there's reasons why things are secret. So, if there's something about you, that if you had some kind of past and you were, guilty of some kind of extortion or some kind of crime, that, when you reveal something like that, of course, it's not a secret anymore, and you could be setting yourself up greater propensity for that than usual at this time to be blackmailed or what have you. So it can be a time too where, Black Moon Lilith is also associated with suffering, so it can be, some issue, Plutonian issue. It can be a death of somebody or the end of something such as a relationship. Say if this was in the 7th house, you might be going through some suffering connected with some kind of relationship. It might be something too. I mean, when you look at the Black Moon Lilith is also associated with a very strong erotic sexual nature. So this is a time where Pluto could give more power to that, more so than usual. And Black Moon Lilith and Pluto are both connected with sex. Pluto can be associated with the actual performance of sex, and you have Black Moon Lilith connected with the erotic sexual nature. A person that has this transit may not be able to get enough expression of their sexual energy at this time, and it could be very uninhibited. If it was in Gemini, it might be for younger people, as an example. Now, another thing too, excuse me, this could also be expressed in a fixation or obsession on embracing the higher level of the position. Now, say if this is in Aquarius in the 2nd house as an example, it can be about developing perhaps some astrological talent or ability, or something with talent with computers or electronics or astronomy at this time. And it also can be at the same time, if there's a fixation with developing a higher level of the position, it could also manifest, of course, with trying to obliterate the negative expression of the placement as well. And say, going back to Aquarius in the 2nd house as an example, it could be about somebody that may have been using astrology for nefarious purposes, to cause dissension in the astrological community, and maybe it was something that was being in the 2nd house could be something that person may have valued and made that person feel maybe better about his or herself, oddly enough. Now, another thing too is that this could be something Pluto related. that you don't want unveiled, that you want suppressed and concealed. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, well, it can be about, for example, it can be something with corruption or crime. It might be a criminal record that some people may have had. Maybe there's something going on where you were bullied or coerced at some time. If it's in the third house, it could have been during your early education. There may have been sexual abuse that you may have experienced, or physical abuse or trauma that you don't want to come out, basically. Um, it can be something too. I mean, say if it was in the 12th house, it could have been, where maybe you were victimized by some kind of insurance fraud. Um, it may be something too. I mean, looking at this transit, that I mean, Pluto-related things at this time might put you in a stronger state of fright and trepidation, more so than usual. It could be matters pertaining to death, maybe making a major transformation or change in your life, maybe dealing with a crisis, and maybe perhaps even a virus as well. I mean, like the coronavirus at this time is still fairly prevalent. It might be something that might cause a little bit more fright and fear, more so than usual, if you are experiencing this transit. Now, in isolated cases, it could also manifest in surgery. Pluto is associated with surgery, and it can be through some kind of physical trauma, which, of course, is be connected with the Black Moon Lilith. Now, let's say if this falls in Capricorn as an example, and especially in the first or sixth house in the natal chart, because the first house is associated with the physical body. Sixth house could be connected with physical health and debilitations, and maybe something with the knees, the bones, the hamstrings, gallbladder, um, anything that is something with the skin, anything that could be related to Capricorn physically. And also too, and sadly, you may experience sadly a death of somebody that played a prominent or provocative role in your life at this time. And say if it's in Scorpio, in the 10th house as an example, it might have been somebody that was prominent in a Scorpio career you may have been involved in, say something with insurance or taxes or the occult, which includes astrology or forensics investigation, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.